Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Play Chrono Trigger. I am MegaFreak400, and this is going to be a combination video of an alternate version, a pretty big alternate version that I wanted to show because it's pretty important, or pretty interesting to watch rather, of the original ending and another ending which happens when you die to Lavos. So first off, here's the alternate ending. This one, the main difference is, or rather the only difference is, I'm using the Epoch to crash into Lavos. Now this will have a similar effect in terms of what happens in the ending. If you do this in the Chrono ending, Chrono is dead ending, and I don't know why Lavos lost his head, and maybe because I already fought him. Oh yeah, because I fought him, and then I went inside him, and then I went back out. So that's probably why he doesn't have any face. But anyway, yeah. Magus is telling us to let's crash it into him because then we don't have to worry about going into him and fighting him from the front, even though his front's already destroyed, but whatever. Now this, I've never actually done this before, so it was really interesting to watch this animation because I was like, wait a minute, what? What? Yeah, because it was really, it's kind of, odd, I guess, to see. Because you wouldn't really think of this happening. And here we have them getting ready to go and crash full speed, and fire is in the background. Because fire always makes everything better. Generally, it's not really fire though, but it looks kind of like fire. So yeah, here, got them in front of the pilot. That's pretty awesome. The pilot seat. And you got like this black stuff. I'm not really sure what that is, if it's the inside of Lavos' body, or... It looks cool, so yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I mean, again, this is what I'm talking about. Like this game for sprite animation was pretty, had some pretty, I guess I would say cutting edge at the time. I don't know, maybe there was other games that had these kind of animations, but this is pretty good animations. We're inside, but the Epoch has been destroyed, or the CSS rather. No turning back now. There's no turning back. Wait, no, that's not the... I was gonna sing a song, but I was not singing the right lyrics. I don't think I was. No, it was all coming back, not whatever. And it's Celine Dion. Celine Dion. We don't want to listen to Celine Dion. Or maybe you do. I don't know. So yeah, I'm showing this again because I haven't actually shown Magus's little dialogue pieces. Of course, he's not going to have the ones when he first goes into Lavos, but that's because I went into Lavos via the Epoch. So yeah, that's his combination. Yes, yeah, well, I really do like the art style, even though they're just sprites. I can't pronounce his name. It's A, and his last name starts with a T. It's Arika Toriyama, or Toriyama I think is his last name. But the one who did the Dragon Ball manga. He really, even with sprites, his art style it's pretty, it's evident it's his art style, and I like it. It's definitely... it always brings to question certain artists change styles, or should they maintain the same style throughout. And, I don't mind an artist keeping the same style, but I think the thing is with the same styles is don't make everything exactly the same. I don't think he does for them to an extent. He draws his male characters fairly similar. So anyway, yeah, let's cut ahead. This is after everyone goes away, because everything else is just the same, so there's no need to watch all that again, unless you really wanted to. But, yeah, I don't think it was that interesting to watch. I mean, if you want to watch it, just go watch the official ending video I had back a while ago. The king asked for your presence. So yeah, because we destroy the Epoch, we cannot go back in time. Therefore, they're not going to have my mother go back in time, because otherwise she'd be trapped there. Not that I would have a problem with that, because she's so nagging about the cat, but still. And here we have the balloons. So yeah, this part's gonna change. Originally, the king got stuck up, but instead, because they're not rushing off to save Chrono's mother, PTM is really happy about the bell. Bell. Bells of no... no. Even though that is a really good song, I will not be singing. So yeah, I give PTM a boost, or Marley a boost, and there she goes. However, somehow, the balloons are strong enough. I never get whenever anyone has, animations where the balloons are strong enough to lift a person up. I never really... I guess, then again, if it's strong enough to hold up a bell, and keep a bell from floating, I guess it would be strong enough to hold a person. It must have like super helium. So I mean, yeah, I jump on and it still keeps us floating, and we go off. And SM is useless in trying to save us because, yeah. So yeah, this one, instead of seeing the Epoch flying over the night sky, we instead see Chrono and Marley in each other's arms with the balloon. And this is just really pretty, and you know, it's really it's beautiful. I mean, it's really awesome looking. Right here, it's nothing extraordinary, but it's just, you know, it's just a nice looking scene. You have the wind in their hair, and even though, yeah, it's sprites, you kind of got it makes you have the illusion that they're actually floating. Obviously, it's sprites, and you know, if you look at it in that sense, they're not floating, but it kind of, you know, it has the illusion of them float if it was actually floating, because, you know, the sprites is actually different from the map, and that's the only thing that the style of the map is and the style that they are kind of conflict. But even then, it's still pretty awesome in my opinion, and I'm not one to complain. Well, I am one to complain, but I'm not one to complain about this. Rather, I'm one to give my opinion. Yeah, see, like right here, that looks pretty awesome. It gives you the illusion of them floating up into space. My question though is, I guess they do they show them getting down? Because, you know, it would be interesting if they just kept floating forever and eventually just went in space. And then, yeah, because it's moon, like this, you know, it's obviously, it gives you the illusion of them getting close to the moon. Obviously, it's not. But that's what artists do. Artists give you illusions. I mean, I guess since my whole thing about the whole 3D craze that's going on, I've talked about this before, but artists for centuries have already been doing what 3D is trying to do. They've given you the illusion of things actually being there, or actually being how they are. All 3D is doing is saying, hey, it pops out, and it's almost taking some of the creativeness away. And now, again, if people start using 3D, if you know, video artists or movie makers start using 3D in that sense, you know, if they start considering how to make 3D and start using it to make good movies and using 3D to enhance the movie, then yeah, I think it could be a good tool. As it is now, it's just a gimmick, and if anything, I think it's a gimmick that is even a gimmick that may please the audiences and may boost revenue for the movie theaters, but it's a gimmick that is not helping the artistry of the industry. Try saying that 5 times fast. It's not helping the creativity. Now you could say, oh, you're being an artist, you're just not being able to do, but you know, that's who I am. I want to be an artist, I want to be an animator, so I'm going to think like that. That's my perspective. I do realize though that not everyone thinks that way, so you know, if you really don't think 3D needs to enhance movies and if you think that it being a gimmick is fine, you know, that's you're right. I don't necessarily agree, but you know, in terms of, if you're looking at it in terms of capitalism, yeah, there is some effects to 3D that is good, whether or not it's being creative or artistic. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of. I don't like to give customers stuff that I can just throw together. Like, that's what it seems like this past decade has been. A lot of people just taking, trying to put things together as much as possible to sell it, but not necessarily trying to expand or make it better. Like just throwing stuff together just to sell it, just the bare bones of enough to make people want to buy it. That's what it seems, because movie makers realize they can make money without having to put as much effort. In my opinion, again, I could be wrong. Maybe they are putting effort, but it seems like a lot of movies nowadays just seem to be based off old things, and even like Gone with the Wind was based off a book too, but when it was based off a book, it had a creative nature to it. You know, it was based off a book, but it was not exactly like the book. It's an example of a good movie that was based off a book. And yeah, that's it. I guess they do go off into space and end up like dying. So yeah, that's a comforting thought. But yeah, I ended up ranting, and I wasn't really planning on it. But anyway, here is what happens if you die to Lavos, as you will see very soon. I think very soon. I may have actually left a little bit more than I probably wanted to in here, but whatever. But yeah, I guess I don't know. When I make something, I want it to be as best as it can be. You know, obviously it's not going to be perfect. That's not an obtainable entity, an obtainable thing. But I want to, try and improve upon it as much as possible. I don't want to just throw something together and say, oh, it's awesome. I want to improve as much. And I guess the problem is with when you mix artist with capitalism, it usually results in the creativeness being compromised to make money. And I don't necessarily support that ideal. It's not always the case, and but I'm not one to necessarily support that. So here is Lavos destroying the world. Basically, all this is doing is it's giving you the perspective of the operator, and you only get this ending. I don't really consider it an ending, but it's an ending in its own. You only get it if you lose to Lavos, and it's just basically showing what happened if you didn't intervene technically, because the world gets destroyed, and it's basically just in the perspective of the this operator of this information center, or director of the operation center. So yeah, he's telling everyone to go to the shelter dome. Obviously some people survive, so it's probably the people who went to the shelter dome. But the director just sits there. I'm almost feeling that the director is a descendant of like Luca or something, because he has a hat on. Obviously that has no I guess it could actually rather be Marley. No, it's probably Marley's descendant, because he's kind of like the king of this area, because he's a director. So yeah. But yeah, he says Lavos, and then he dies. Yay! So yeah. And this is pretty depressing scene right here, as you'll see. But the future refused to change. That sucks. This has been Make 500, reminding you to go buy some snowmen.